You know, I can't believe that the time is flying by right now so fast. This is just, this particular show is almost over, but not without the most important segment, because I know that many of you are just on the edge of your chairs waiting to hear us talk about some of the issues that most people don't talk about, beginning with what I found out today is a complete cultural phenomena that I missed, and I admit it. I'm going to expose my ignorance. The Mandalorian, which is the award-winning Star Wars saga with Baby Yoda and such. And you know, it seems like we have such a bankruptcy in America of creativity that we're constantly going back to redoing the movies we already did. And then when the story is done on one end, we go back and start from making believe there's a beginning to the thing. It's shocking. I mean, Deadpool was when I first noticed that it actually there's no sense to a plot. But tell me what's going on, because this touches on cancel culture with Baby Yoda.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've touched on everything from let's cancel the Star-Spangled Banner, let's cancel entire states. Well, we're just back to canceling normal actors right now. And so, yeah, The Mandalorian is a Disney Plus streaming series, and you're right. I mean, the innovation in Hollywood is at an all-time low, and so let's just redo and franchises. And so they launched Mandalorian to much fanfare, and I will admit it was a really pretty good series, a little long in some situations, drawn out plot lines, but all in all, pretty good. And there's one supporting actress in there. She's got, you know, she helps like with Baby Yoda. We're calling him Baby Yoda. It's not his real name, but anyways, Baby Yoda goes on a journey, and she helps get Baby Yoda to where Baby Yoda needs to go. I don't want to do any spoilers in case you want to watch it. But anyway, she was canceled this week, Gina Carano, and condemned by Lucasfilms. Lucasfilms came out and said, after she tweeted, okay, she sent a tweet out, and it was so offensive, she lost her job over it. Lucasfilms had this to say about it. Her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable from Lucasfilms. But, I mean, what was the tweet? Like, what was the tweet? Oh, well, she basically just compared, you know what? Here I don't have my glasses on, and it's so tiny, Frank, I can't even read it. But essentially here, what she's saying is she's comparing the beating of the Jews and how the Jews were rounded up, not by their governments, but they were reported on by their neighbors. And in some case, children. And so as we've seen entire states wanting to be canceled today, and then she was canceled. Ironically, after putting this tweet out, she herself was canceled. Fascinating. Truly fascinating to see the left in their full force. And so, you know, she's taken a stand for quite a while for conservative ideals and whatever her free speech worldview is. She was actually condemned by the Internet Mom, which I really think triggered most of this a few months ago when she was pressured to put her gender pronouns in her Twitter profile. And instead of doing that, she opted to put beep, boop, bop. And at that, they were enraged. Again, enraged when she put a meme up of face masks covering a person's head that said, "Meanwhile, in California." Incredibly abhorrent, according to Lucasfilm. So this pattern of hate speech coming from her is what cost her job this week. And, you know, here's my commentary on this, Lance, is that, you know, I've seen this going around social media quite a bit, and I'm a little confounded by people who say things like, she should have known better. She just should have stayed silent. Leave politics out of entertainment. Again, liberal privilege, double standard, because liberals get to do it all the time, and it doesn't cost them their job. And so what do we do with this? What do we do with this when you're not woke enough for your company, when you don't go out and put the BLM statement in your profile or your gender pronouns in your profile? What happens then? What happens when it's your job? Because it's very easy to say, oh, she should have known better, she should have stayed silent. But the reality is the woke mob doesn't want your silence. The woke mob wants your celebration. They want you to celebrate their ideals. You can't have your own thoughts. You can't have your own free speech. No, no, no. No free speech. Compelled speech. Say the words, make the confession, agree, and you'll be fine. You don't have to lose your job then, but celebrate it. Don't stay silent. That's not good enough anymore. All right, Lance, I just feel like I had an impromptu Tucker monologue there. I'm impressed with myself, but do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, you know, between this and the cat-faced lawyer meme thing that you've been obsessing about all week, I think that this is an important cultural perspective on what's happening in America is birthed in front of us right now. But there was an explosive article, Mercedes, that I don't want you to miss. I don't even think I got a chance to cover this with the producer, but it was explosive. Bannon talked about it in War Room, and it's the brilliant guy that's got Revolver.news. He put out an article on the cancel culture, a whole other aspect on this thing. And I want to touch on this for a second before we hit the Nikki Haley moment, because I do believe that we're able to deliver commentary that's going to be incisive about the future of America on this firewall. Right now, the ruling powers of what is called at Revolver.news the Globalist American Empire, GAE, have consolidated power to such a degree that they have little need left for the pretense that the United States is the free country. We're experiencing with this talk that we're having now about shutting down and cancel. And my gosh, Fox is under attack. All their vendors are being attacked right now. The same thing with Mike Lindell. These vicious piranhas are not capitalists. They're not even smart. They're destroying the infrastructure of America with every stroke of a pen with an executive order. There's $1 million estimated that we just lost in the energy, 1 million jobs in the energy sector with Biden's policies, and $1 billion worth of revenue that's just got cut off in 5 key states to the schools and infrastructure of these states. But here's the thing I want you to catch. The Polish prime minister, Poland, Europe is more concerned about what's happening to America than the Republican Party is about what's happening in America. They said, how can you cancel the President of the United States and deplatform him so that someone like Donald Trump doesn't even have a voice? You isolate him, then you want to have a trial that's going to go on for days and days and days. You want to try him knowing he cannot come in and defend himself, that no lawyer would allow him to go in and potentially perjure himself. You want to carry on the theater of mind control. I predict this is going to actually create an accelerated backlash and a furious incentive for the organizing of fragmented conservative parts right now. Because Trump was such a huge personality, there was no leadership really having to work as long as he was center stage. But now that he's gone, the absence of leadership is what 75 million of us are now looking at and saying, what are we going to do to deal with this tyranny? Polish prime minister made a forceful condemnation of the illegal use of social media shutting down the president. The president of Mexico, of all things, used similarly strong statements saying, I don't like anybody being censored or taken away from the right to post a message on Twitter or Facebook. I don't agree with it and I don't accept it. This is the president of Mexico. And then we have, I'm not done yet, the French government actually said the same thing. They're shocked and concerned that issues of citizen freedom would be decided by CEOs. And then Merkel, of all things, in Germany, sees this as an authoritarian blueprint that's rolled out. And as you know, the Germans have some kind of an understanding of authoritarian blueprints in their history. But then you got Brazil and Finland and Russia. And this is the worst part, China. China, laughing up its sleeve, says, well, listen, America has lost its moral high ground lecturing the rest of us because evidently they're a lot like us. And we agree with America. We really need to monitor and supervise incendiary rhetoric that is potentially dangerous. So it's pretty bad when communist China is saying America's finally on the right track when it comes to dealing with media. And as surprising as it sounds, digital surveillance and speech control has already got the same characteristics as happening in China. But I want to say one thing before I bounce off into the Nikki Haley moment. Many American conservative commentators, this writer says, have incorrectly interpreted big tech's exercise of power as an unhealthy usurpation of corporate power over the state. But the truth is, and this is so profound, the truth is, at the highest levels, the state and these tech oligarchs are working together to take over and suppress America. They're working together. It's not either or. They're fused into one. And that's where, bam, you're going to see the people of the United States deplatforming those platforms in short order. Nikki Haley is another one of those who is disappointing Mercedes because she's actually coming out and showing her true colors, and she's saying, oh, I want to lead that 75 million people that were with Trump, and I'm the perfect person to do that. I'd like to be president of the United States. But first of all, we have to be politically correct and say, following Trump, he let us down. He led us down a path he shouldn't have. We shouldn't have followed him. We shouldn't have listened to him. We can't ever let it happen again. And you know what? I'm glad she's smoking her way out, that we're finding out who the leaders are, because she's going no place. By the way, Mercedes Sparks, how can people stay in touch with you? They follow you where?
Yeah, they can follow me at follow Sadies, S-A-D-I-E-S, on all social media. And I just want to throw in my 2 cents here on what you're just talking about. I think ultimately it's that lack of leadership we're coming up against. And if we do not shore up election integrity at a state level and defeat H.R. 1 at a federal level, this election fraud will continue to plague us, and we will not hold a place of power again. That should be our focus now, and that should be the rallying cry.
Absolutely. We want you to contact us and stay in touch with us, because we are helping to mobilize the Great Awakening populist movement. I really believe that there's a spiritual awakening and a populist movement about to be fused into one entity. And you want to contact us. Lance Wallnau, W-A-L-L-N-A-U, Facebook, YouTube. And we want to hear about your thoughts on this program. We'll be talking to you again in our next broadcast. We're covering the impeachment melodrama, and we're going to be standing together as one.